ultra relaxing tingle session. Hope you enjoy these triggers. And do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, please do follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The links to those pages are in the description of this video. Also, we do have individual vlog channels that we join each other from time to time. So please do check that out too. Yesterday actually my husband posted a vlog of our trip to Germany on his vlog channel. So please do check that out and leave us a comment. Let us know if you've liked the vlog, your thoughts, etc. So guys, if any one of you has noticed, we didn't post here on the Asthma channel for more than a week, I guess going to 2 weeks, because we've been so busy with just some projects that have been taking a lot of our time. We just really wanted to have some things done before the summer was over. And here we are, it's towards the end of summer. So that's why we didn't post and we didn't have any pre-shot videos. Anyways, I've been reading all your comments and we are so flattered and humbled that some of you guys did miss us, and some of you guys have been sending us recommendations of what they would like to see us do. So I went back to the comments, like I scrolled down to the comments for the past 2 weeks, or let's say 1 week and a few days, and I wrote them down, and one of them was like I give my opinions on the K-dramas I watched or have been watching. Another one was I speak a little bit of my African culture. For those that are new here, I am an African, not African American, but African from Africa. Yeah, and my husband is European. We live in Europe. did something wrong, should me go and cut get the knife and cut a stick, a good one, that I'll use it to beat you. And she wasn't joking, so I would go get a stick for myself to be beaten. It's just gonna be serious. Actually, I remember once I did something, but she was in a hurry to go to the market, so she told me, I'm postponing this beating to when I come from the market, so you better be ready with the cane when I come back. And I know to some people it might sound like a joke, but it's actually not, because when she came from the market, she did beat me for, I don't know what I had done, but there were always a bunch of things that you were being beaten about. And it's also crazy because sometimes they would beat you to stop crying after they've beaten you. So if you cry, it's also like a reason to be beaten, And as I said, this also stretches to the schools. The schools in Africa, most of them still do practice corporal punishment. Yeah, another thing that's still very much an African way of parenting is the way they expect you to have kids immediately after marriage. My husband and I, we've been waiting now. This is our 7th year of marriage, and my cousin got married, I guess, in 2018, and in 2019 they already had a baby. But yeah, it is very much expected, and you are told by your parents and your in-laws that immediately after marriage it is expected that you have kids, or you give them kids. You are given 1 year, of course, to settle into the marriage, and after that the questions start from the in-laws. And in some cultures, actually, I hear that the in-laws start to pester you, And the longer you wait, the more it adds friction to your marriage. Like now, my auntie, since she's like a mother figure to me, every year I went to Kenya, she kept on asking me, when are you guys going to have kids? When are you guys going to have kids? So at some point I suspected she thought maybe I was sick or barren. According to her talk, that wasn't so tactful. Yeah, but I figured. And then I started giving her timeline and telling her, you see, we decided to wait because we had huge plans we wanted to do with our lives, so we are slowly getting to ticking all of them. And in a year or two, I will have a child. Yeah, and I saw that she's more like, oh, okay, trying to listen and understand what I'm saying. And the fact that I'm married to someone who's not African, I guess, to them it's been more, tolerable for all those years, But if I was married, I guess, to an African, raised the African way, with the African way, parenting way, I guess they would have pestered me, maybe my in-laws. To have kids immediately, that give me exaggerating and not really telling things as they are by parents. For example, with the exaggerating, used to my best friend and I used to laugh about this a lot because she was also raised by her grandma, and she would tell me that each time she would go out and come, let's say around 9, the grandma would wait for when there's a family get together, and she would be saying, "Oh, I don't know what to do with Chris anymore. She's become impossible." The other day she left and came back at midnight. Even though you came at 9 or 10, to them that's automatically midnight. I wanted to show you guys that one, but it got lost. It's so crazy because also, in a way, when they are, for example, like trying to discipline you, like maybe slap you, they always say when they are beating you that, "I'm doing this because I love you." It's such a concerted way, but yeah, they say, "I'm doing this for your sake because I love you." Anyway, when they're trying to slap you and maybe you block the slap, they always say that you literally raised your hand and hit them. I know a few friends that this has happened to. If you like maybe suave and maybe you fall on them or something, that means that you basically tackled them to the ground and you fought them. That's just how the story is gonna be known, And if, for example, you live in a small town, like you come from a small town like I did, everyone will know, "Oh, that's the girl who hit her grandma." Yeah, because she's gonna be telling her friends after church, It's crazy how they exaggerate. And another thing is the fact that always you should assume that you're being watched, not only by your family, so you should assume that you're being watched like all the time. When you're going to the market, or when you're at the, let's say, a supermarket, or like the market like open air market, or just when you're around town, just assume that you're being watched by, people. Could be anyone. You just hear your grandma telling you, "Oh, so-and-so saw you at this corner, walking with your friends, or talking, or doing something." So they literally take, like the saying, "It takes a village to raise a child." They really take it literally. Because whatever you do, if you smile at a guy or you talk to someone's husband, like if he says, "Oh, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while." Oh, that's just, it's gonna get back to your family. So just assume, even when you're in the darkest alley, someone is watching you. So basically they really mind. In African culture, really everybody minds everyone's business, We haven't done asthma in a while, so he has a lot of whiteheads and flakes, dead skin, dandruff. Yeah, and the unnecessary. Should be like, when I was your age, I actually survived without this, and I'd be like, those times are different. Now it's much harder, like, then when I was in school. But she wouldn't hear it. I wouldn't even come close to convincing her. She'd be like, no. So somehow it should be like their minds are stuck on kind of a weird mental past, a crypt that it won't move. They won't change their minds. They won't see things differently. I'm trying so much to show you guys this, why I did. Okay, it doesn't want to be seen. Okay, there it is. And this thing of maybe you want to explain something that happened, or let's say you're late somewhere and you want to explain where you've been. That's basically insulting them because you're talking back. In most African cultures, you cannot explain yourself. You cannot reason or explain yourself. You cannot maybe try to tell them, hey, this is the reason why I am late. The bus came late. It broke down. No, that's just being disrespectful. So, rather, oops, that fell back in. Rather just, accept that they're telling you are late because you are somewhere you shouldn't have been. Or you just wanted to lazy around somewhere, maybe, do something you're not supposed to do. It's always the wrong thing. It's never you are doing something good, It's never, oh, maybe you are at the library studying. It's always you are late because you are up to no good. I know this maybe sounds like a lot of negative stuff, but in another video I'm going to be a lot of positive parenting, ways, beliefs in Africa. Yeah, so anyway, it's always you are up to something that's not good, and this is more like dandruff, I'm guessing. But it's more dry. It's more of dry. If you speak back when they're talking to you. Actually, my sister and I were laughing about this because she was telling me that one time our Jojo, my grandma, was beating her and she was trying to reason with her like, no, that's not how it happened. And my Jojo continued adding her, like beating her, and told her, don't speak when I'm speaking to you. So, and then she said, why did you do this? And Lara was trying to say, and they said, don't say another word. Yeah, so she was still beating her and asking her, why did you do this? And as Lara was trying to explain why she did it, they said, don't say another word. So, they ask you a question and you do not answer. And also, sometimes if you answer, then that's also a problem. So it's really, crazy. By the way, I'm not making this up. This is actually something that any person in their 20s, 30s, 40s, I guess, they will tell you that this is true. Well, the new parenting, like the millennial parents, of course, they know better. Like, I know better now. There's no how I'm gonna be whipping my kids or doing all this other stuff. But I'm just saying that this is just how we were raised. I actually saw a meme that someone was saying that this actually happens in America too, the African American community, that when you're out to their parents and you do something that's not pleasing to them, they'll just give you a look, and the look will tell you exactly what they do not expect from you. So you will know, oh, I should probably not have done that or said that. So yeah, African parents always have different looks or in public. Because if you even act out of character, like more in a way that's not good, if you misbehave, that is, in public, and they can't say anything to you, like to condemn you, they'll just give you a look that you know, okay, I'm in trouble. I remember my grandma had this one look that my best friend and I were making fun of. It's a look of suspicion. She had many looks, but this one we made fun of. This one was more of when she didn't believe a word you said. She would close both eyes and then one should close it more. As you told your story, as you raved on, and the more you spoke, the more the eye became smaller and smaller and smaller until you just stopped talking. Because that moment, and her face is like caved on one side. And my best friend and I, we used to do it in our college dorm, hostels that is. And story of where she was, I would just do the same. And she'd be like, don't give me your grandma's look. She'd be like, I just don't believe a word you're saying. You just, fess up, say the truth, say where you are. Because I can already smell that this is a lie, Yeah, and we would laugh about it all the time. Oh yeah, so it's like they have a BS detector to detect when someone is not telling the truth, and the look will tell you when you've been found out, when it's time to, stop talking. And for the most part, they were right. You would be up to no good and you would be lying, really. So it's like they really had a radar to detect lies and true. They still do. Another thing that still very much happens in African homes, and parents do this a lot, is comparing. I remember I hated so much, and my mom would compare me to my peers, like to people I studied with or went to school with. And I actually, in the UK, there was this meme going around that parents would tell their kids, your mates are doing this and this, your mates are doing this and that. And yeah, the African way of, being parents, they do that a lot. They compare you a lot to your mates, like your peers, people you went to school with, your age mates. Actually, I remember we did that, God forgive us, with my sister, because she's in college right now. And one of our friends, her age mate, actually went and did nursing, like our neighbor. So basically it's like a friend, really, because we lived next to them for decades. So anyway, that girl, she went to college immediately after high school. My sister didn't go immediately after high school. She took 2 years to work. And the girl went to college immediately after high school. And she got a nursing degree, and right now she's dating a doctor. And the doctor, 2 months before I was in Kenya, came and introduced himself. We call it in African culture introduction. You do an introduction. So we were telling my sister, because to be honest, my sister is not the best judge of character. So she's kind of dating someone who everybody in the family sees that he don't go anywhere. And me and everyone else was trying to tell her that please just concentrate on school. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, already planning huge plans with this guy. And anyway, my auntie was telling her, your mate, I forget the girl's name. I know her big sister's called Doreen, but I've forgotten the girl's name. it for quite a while, as I said. So be sure to tune in